Welcome back to the Fragrance Return, everybody. Thanks for spending some of your day with me. So today we continue the series of great smelling men's fragrances under $50. Let's jump right into it with Lattafa Asad. This is going to be a Dior Sauvage Elixir clone. This is a beautiful fragrance right here. It is a beast mode scent. It's going to last 10 plus hours. It's great for the evening time, great for a night out. If Dior Sauvage is maybe a little bit too youthful for you and doesn't really hit you in the right way, then this one is going to be right up your alley with Lattafa Asad, a clone of Elixir, a little bit more mature of a scent profile. It's got some nice incense in there to balance out the ambroxan bomb that is Sauvage that I love, but you may not. So if you're looking for something as an alternative to Sauvage, maybe something a little bit with slight more maturity, but is going to maintain that beast mode awesome performance, look into Assad. This is not going to smell of the same quality as Sauvage Elixir. However, it is excellent. This is under $30 that you pay, and this smells quality wise between like a $60 to $80 fragrance, I would say. So you're getting great value for your money with Assad, and you're not spending over $150 on a 60 milliliter of Sauvage Elixir, while getting, I would say, 90% of the way there. Next up, we have a fresh fragrance. This is one of my favorite fresh fragrances to wear. It's a white floral fragrance for men. It's very unique. You're gonna stand out with this one. And it doesn't go that typical citrus route that so many fresh fragrances do. The white florals really change it up, and it was love at first sniff with this one. That's why I got the biggest bottle possible. This is L1212 Blanc. This is the Eau de Toilette. I heard that the Eau de Parfum is even better, so either the Eau de Toilette or the Eau de Parfum, whatever you happen to see out there, if you can get a good price on it, or if you want something that's gonna be a little bit different than your typical citrus forward freshy, check out L1212 Blanc. I'd say performance on it is average, but it's definitely a head turner, and it's gonna make you stand out from the crowd. You're not gonna smell like every other guy when you wear L1212 Blanc. It's great for a creative type personality, someone that likes to be fresh, but a little bit maybe different than everybody else. The next one up we have is a great one that's for a vacation or makes you wanna just feel like you are on vacation, is Tommy Bahama St. Barts. So St. Barts is very tropical. It's got a lot of like tropical fruit type smells in there. It's gonna make you feel like you're at the beach, like you're in Cancun and you're somewhere very, with very warm weather, and you're gonna be swimming in the ocean, doing all the beach type activities. Now this is an eau de cologne concentration, so unfortunately it doesn't last as long as you would think, or as long as that you would hope for, but it works well for indoor use if you're gonna just be wearing something around the house. If you want something that maybe is just going to be more of a personal scent, then this is a great choice. This smells very similar, if you can imagine those, I don't know if they have them anymore, but they were like ice cream that came in different fruit shells. So they had a pineapple shell, and they had like an orange shell, and they had like a lemon shell. So it was called a sorbet, I believe. That's what this reminds me of. It reminds me of a lemon sorbet. So if you can picture that, that's kind of what this smells like. This was a $20 fragrance for 100 milliliter. And it's an eau de cologne, but the smell is fantastic. So I really like St. Bart's. It takes you right to that tropical beach vibe. The next one is going to be one of my favorite, if not my favorite, affordable blue fragrances. This is Coach for Men. It's got a strong pear note as well as a kumquat note, which kind of makes it a little bit different than some of the other blue fragrances out there, as well as obviously ambroxan, like so many of them have now. But as far as blue fragrances under $50, this one is tied with Acqua Essenziale Blue for my two favorites. This one is going to be a little bit more youthful than that one, and it does come across more of that shower gel type scent. Performance is slightly above average. I actually get better performance on my skin than I've read on forums and saw online about other people. Other people say that they don't get such great performance, but for me, I get good performance out of this one, and I really love the way that this one smells. If I'm looking for a dumb reach, this is perhaps one of the best dumb reach fragrances that you can grab, because it just works in every situation. It's very mass appealing, it's very pleasing, and you're gonna be hard pressed to find someone that doesn't like Coach for Men. So great buy there if you happen to stumble across and get it for a great price. Next one we have is Abercrombie and Fitch First Instinct Together. Now, if you're a fan of Invictus Aqua or fragrances of that ilk, you will be a fan of this one. This one has a nice sweetness to where I think it could even work in the winter, because it does combine a little bit of the YSL Y DNA, the Eau de Toilette, into Invictus Aqua. as if you took those two fragrances and you kind of made a baby out of them. You would get First Instinct together. It's a great performer. It's strong. It's got a nice sweetness that will help it cut through the cold, so it could work in really any season. I think it's a little bit too sweet to wear at the gym. I wore it at the gym a few days ago, and I just caught myself thinking, like, this is maybe a little bit too sweet. But for other situations, I think it would work in the office or school, just maybe not where you're huffing and puffing, gasping for air, and the first thing you get is a puff of sweetness from First Instinct together, right? So don't wear it at the gym, but everywhere else you could wear it. Even in the wintertime, I think that sweetness will really cut through and stand out. This is a great fragrance for someone younger, someone looking to just get into fragrances, that wants something that's affordable, nice looking bottle, and you can get it at a good price for a good performance. $20 will get you 100 milliliters of this right now, which is a steal in my opinion. This is my second bottle of it, so for the people saying that I don't really know what I'm talking about because there's not much liquid in there, this is my second bottle of this, so I have a lot of wearing experience with this already. Great fragrance, definitely more youthful, but nice and long-lasting, aquatic, sweet fragrance. The next one is going to be Lucky For You by the Lucky brand. So this one, I paid around $23 for this 100 milliliter. It's probably my least favorite cap of all time. It's just like some kind of rubber stop. Maybe you can use it as an eraser though. I haven't tried that. But this one is a soapy green grassy fragrance. So the grassiness is pronounced, and I think green fragrances are really making a comeback into what's popular. Why I say that, I don't know. I think blue has kind of seen its time, and now it's time to get back into green. And I think the fact that blue fragrances have just overtaken the market, that green fragrances will be coming more into fashion as we move forward. So if you want to test the waters with green fragrances, see what they're all about, this is a good starting point. It's very inoffensive, and it has a soapiness that balances out the green grassiness. It doesn't come across overly grassy, but you will pick up that green grassiness from it. It lasts an average, it's an average performer. I wouldn't say the performance is great. One thing about this fragrance is that it kind of immediately takes me to like mid 2000s to 2008 or something like that, to where I was in middle school. So if you want a fragrance that's going to give you a little bit of that mid 2000s nostalgia, that's this in a bottle. Lucky For You by Lucky brand. You can get it at a great price, and the fragrance is fantastic. It's not going to be, you know, something that rivals more expensive fragrances like perhaps a Coach for Men would, but for the money, it's a good starting place to get into green fragrances if you want to just test out green fragrances and see if that's something that you like. The next one is going to be a throwback, one that is near and dear to my heart, Versace The Dreamer. I've been wearing this one for pretty much my whole life. I really love the carnation in here. I really love the grapefruit blast in the opening that you get. Some people are not going to enjoy that, and this one is a little bit more divisive because it does kind of bring in a 90s, maybe late 80s era of fragrances that is not so popular today. But I still think that this is the best fragrance from Versace in my opinion. I really enjoy wearing this one. This one is a big compliment magnet, and for the ladies that like the way it smells, they're gonna really love it. It's gonna blow their minds. And you won't smell like every other guy wearing this because it is a little bit of an older style fragrance, but it doesn't come across too mature. It's like a fragrance from the 90s that was for a more youthful audience. So it's like an older fragrance that was made to smell more youthful. So it balances out those two things to the point where you could still rock it in 2023 and smell fantastic. I think this bottle is really beautiful as well. You can get it at a good price these days. One that I will keep in my collection, God willing, forever, because it just brings me back to a different time in perfumery, kind of when I started getting into fragrances as a kid. Versace The Dreamer. Perhaps also the best name of men's fragrances, The Dreamer. Like, come on, doesn't get better than that. The next one we have is from Banana Republic, from their Icon line. This is Metal Rain. This has similarities to much more expensive fragrances from the House of Creed, specifically Silver Mountain Water, and I also get a little bit of Millésime Imperial, a little bit of that Millésime, I guess, saltiness you could call it in there. This is a nice, really well blended, fresh fragrance that is very refreshing. It's great for the summertime. It's got a specific profile and DNA to where when you smell it, you're like, oh, okay, that's Metal Rain, that's Silver Mountain Water, that's Millésime Imperial. It's got that vibrant freshness. The sort of refreshing nature that it provides is very specific to this scent profile. and it's worth getting your nose on if you haven't checked out any of the aforementioned fragrances, or this one, or perhaps something like a Club de Nuit Milestone from Armaf. Metal Rain, Banana Republic, you can get these for in the $20-ish price range, and it's one that I find myself craving time and time again. I like the coloration on these bottles. It really makes it stand out in your collection. And as far as Banana Republic fragrances go, I think you get great value for your money. I have an entire video covering 5 Banana Republic fragrances that are my favorites, so check that out if you want to learn more about Metal Rain. Coming in at the number 8 spot. So at the number 9 spot, we have one from Davidoff that is kind of an underrated gem in my opinion. It doesn't get enough hype, and I think it deserves more. This is Coolwater. It's a limited edition. It's grapefruit and sage, and sometimes in music and art and perfumery, less is more, and that's the case here. You only need 2 notes to make a fantastic fragrance here, and that's what you get. You get the nice grapefruit in the opening. That does subside, and the sage is really what is prominent to my nose in this. And I get similarities to Dior Sauvage Eau de Toilette. Now, do not buy this and think that you can buy this and it's going to be a direct one-to-one substitute of Dior Sauvage Eau de Toilette. It just has that sort of modern scent profile like a Dior Sauvage Eau de Toilette does. But this one definitely goes in a more herbal type of direction, more of like a tea herbal scent profile, especially once you get into the dry down. The herbal nature of it is very beautiful, but if you don't own a fragrance that has sort of that herbal nature to it, then you might want to give this one a try, because those types of fragrances are very appealing, and also they're very great in the evenings to unwind and relax. That's when I personally like to wear these herbal / tea type fragrances, is when I'm just chilling in the evening. They really set the mood for getting ready to go to bed and getting ready to sleep. But you could also wear this in other situations too. This is very versatile. It just smells great for the price. I'm really blown away. I think of the Coolwater flankers that I've tried, this is my favorite one. Grapefruit and sage, really underrated. I think it's kind of a hidden gem. Hasn't been out too long, so maybe not enough people have smelled it, but from the time that I've spent wearing it, I really love it. You can think of it like a more herbal Sauvage, without Ambroxan and more of that tea vibe. Try not to repeat myself too many times. Okay, last one for today, for part 2, is from the house of Montblanc Presence. Another one that doesn't get quite enough hype as much as it deserves. And this is one that grew on me. It may not blow your mind the first time you smell it, and it likely won't. It didn't blow my mind the first time I smelled it. I just kind of thought, okay, yeah, it smells good, but whatever. But the reason that I've really grown to like this one is being a guy that doesn't really love spicy fragrances. That's not really what I tend to reach for. This is one that balances the spiciness with a little bit of soapiness to the point where I do find myself gravitating towards it, especially in the evening time. I find myself wanting to wear something spicy that isn't going to come across too spicy to the point where I'm not going to enjoy it. And this has a nice cinnamon note in there. So it has enough of the spiciness to address that craving for a spicy type of a fragrance without being over the top with it. Maybe if you're a person that doesn't really enjoy overly spicy fragrances like myself, this is a nice kind of in-between, or a nice starting spot to maybe push yourself to get into that scent profile a little bit more. I've been finding myself wanting to wear it more and more, and especially in the evening times, I find myself gravitating toward Presence. Is this one that's going to smell super unique and blow your mind and stand out and you're going to love it at first sniff? No, probably not. But it will, I'm assuming, grow over time like it did for me. Every time I wear it, I find myself liking it more and more. And the cinnamon spiciness there is really something to be admired. So Montblanc Presence, I'm a big fan of Montblanc, and Presence is nothing short of a fantastic fragrance for under $50. So that's going to be part 2 for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Tomorrow I'll be finishing off this series with part 3. Let me know what else you would like me to discuss, if there's any specific topics that you want me to cover, if you have any questions about the fragrances mentioned. Let me know also what's your favorite fragrance for men under $50. I would love to hear about it. Thanks everybody for your support so far. I can't wait to make more awesome videos to you. I hope you are enjoying watching them and spending some of your day with me. Take care everybody. I'll see you on the next one.